I decided to have a fancy dress party in the Castle Bar, and the place was packed that night, and everybody was dressed up, and it turned out to be a great success because all the staff got dressed up, and all the regulars that were there, they got dressed up, and everybody that came in fancy dress got a drink on the house. As far as I know, that's the way the whole thing started. And everybody else started to copy that year after year.
Does it say REC up in the wee thing?
Yep.
She's recording.
Oh yeah! Hey, yay!
Bars were very quiet during the Troubles, as you would expect. So any chance of people letting their hair down and having it do, that was the reason people took it.
Hey, Toland, man!
In the middle of all that doom and gloom, there was perfect, there was great fun. People had, because you sort of living for the moment, and you had to dodge bullets and had to dodge everything to get the pubs in them days. It was a dodgy time, because you never knew when shooting would start, when bombs would go off. So when you had a chance to enjoy yourself, you took it. And it happened seldom enough, but the Halloween was the one thing that kept good the whole time through the Troubles. We had a night off from everything.
People were being fed up being stopped by checkpoints and through checkpoints and so forth and so forth. So they all thought we'll go out and have a party to ourselves. As far as I'm concerned, that's how it all started. So it went out to the street then, and everybody was dressed up. And then each year it grew, it got bigger and bigger and bigger.
There was about 10 bars, maybe more, 12 bars on Waterloo Street. Long, steep street, in the one street, and you could have went different types of people and different types of bars. You know, each bar had their own crowd. But on Halloween night, you get everybody coming in and out and up the street and down the street. And then it spilled out onto that street, and that's because the bars right beside one another, maybe 10 yards away, another bar, 50 yards, another bar. So they all spilled out onto the street. Some people say that started at Halloween because of people drifting in and out of bars dressed up.
Well, I think that the people were actually fed up being stopped by the army and do this, do that. They had to let their hair down some way. And to me, that was the best way of doing it. And as far as I know, everybody enjoyed themselves. And they all enjoyed getting dressed up.
It was a night off for everybody. It was, you knew, as you say, not in them words, you could get away with murder, but you could have dressed up as anything and you could have got away with it. And as I said, that's why people dress up as Che Guevara, but then beside him would be a policeman and a soldier, you know. One of the strangest things came out of it, a terrible lot of young people dressed up as policemen and soldiers when the streets were full of policemen and soldiers and nobody knew who was who on Halloween night. You know, a policeman could have stepped out in front of your car, I could have seen your licence, and you really didn't know whether to laugh or hand out the licence. You see. And it became that way. It was just odd because there sort of had been a war going on between the youth and the police and the army, and then suddenly they were dressing up as policemen and army for one night of the year. Maybe just to see what it was like.
The soldiers came into the bar that night, they had no clue what's going on. I said to me, what's happening? I said, Halloween. He turned in his seat and walked back out again. Thought we were all mad, which we probably were.
The thing that changed a bit for the better is not for the better, for the good of everything. All the children would come out earlier on to see the parades. The parade's usually 7:30 or 8 at night, lasts for about an hour. Then you have a fireworks display, and then you're in the bars, then the older ones in the bar. And it's the sort of, now it's for all the family. Especially in Derry, but Derry is not the place it was 20 or 30 years ago. It's unbelievable. For somebody as old as me, it's unbelievable, the change in my lifetime.
I think it's fantastic for a town. I think it's brilliant. Things could not be better. And the town has changed a whole lot since then. 1981 years ago. It's changed a whole lot. For the better, I think.
But the gap between Derry what it was and Derry what it is, in the middle of it all was about 30 years when nothing moved. nothing moved. But for a long time, nobody came here, nobody saw what it was like except on the news. And there's people coming now in the last few years now that they see what a completely different place it is. I hope I have another 30 or 40 years to live in it.
That's Derry, our island, they're famous for enjoying themselves under any circumstances. And then in the early 80s, times were bad enough here, and there was trouble all the time. Checkpoints here and checkpoints there, and so forth. But we all got through it. Thank God for it.